Hi guys, this is Sulan Alexander. Today I am going to be taking you into part 1 of my Virgin Hair series. Now, because I was in this business over 10 years, I saw and discovered some things that I know you need to know in your hair business to make it a success. So I'm not going to be rambling, I'm just going to get straight into it. So what we're going to be doing is going through my 10 vendor questions, your guide to the best hair. So this is what I did. I created a vendor guide of 10 questions that you can ask your vendor to help you determine if you want to work with this vendor. So stick with me and we are going to make sure that you get the best quality hair and that your beauty business, your virgin hair business is the best. So these are your 10 questions. It will also be available for download. So the first question you want to ask is, what is the origin of your hair? Where does it come from? Now, typically, when you ask this question, they will want to tell you, oh, well, it comes from Brazil, or it comes from India, or it comes from Peru, as in Peruvian, or it is mink hair. The reality is, none of these things exist. Now, with the exception of the Virgin Indian hair and probably Cambodian, these things you need a process. So there is a process whereby you need to go through in order to source this hair. Now, virgin hair typically comes from places like China, because guess what? Virgin hair just means that the hair was cut from the head, from the scalp, whether it's the tonsuring method that the Indians use at the temple, or it's held back in a ponytail and cut. What virgin hair is cuticle aligned hair that is running in the same direction, which is going to help prevent the hair from tangling or matting. So when you ask the question, where does it come from, you want to wait for them to respond first before asking them if it comes from Brazil or so forth. Now, the Brazilian, Peruvian, Malaysian is just a marketing technique that they would use in order to sell the hair. So once you know this, you can proceed with the next question. Are you a manufacturer, factory, wholesaler, or retailer? Or retailer could be a distributor as well. So you want to ask this question because chances are the person you may be working with is a distributor, which is just the middleman. So a lot of times the distributor will purchase from a manufacturer or a factory and then sell. Distributors are able to purchase in larger quantities and they are able to send out here much faster, much quicker, whereas a factory or a manufacturer, it may take a longer time for you to get in contact with them, because they are taking up with the process of getting the hair prepared. So how long have you been in business? Now, you ask this question because if someone just got into business like a year ago or 2 years ago, you then want to verify, like, you're not certain how well their product is, you're not able to get as much reviews, and you just want to know how well is this person going to be able to serve me, how reputable are they, is this a company I can trust. So typically most persons tend to go with a hair business that's been in business for at least 2 to 3 or more years. So, can I call to see your factory? Now, this is for if the person tells you that they are a factory, which a lot of Chinese have realized that we like persons who have factories. So they will tell you, oh, I have a factory. And then when you call, all they're showing you is a room, or they might say, well, excuse me, my factory is at another location. You want to say, well, okay, can I have a contact for someone in the factory that I could call and see the factory? Now, you want to see the distribution site, but it's also good if you could call and see the factory, so that way you know that, okay, I can trust this supplier with my coin. So what type of hair do you sell? You're not going to tell them what you're looking for. You're going to wait to hear what they tell you, because once you tell them, okay, I'm looking for cuticle aligned, raw, unprocessed hair, that is exactly what they're going to say they have. So you want to hear what that person says first before. So the responses that you're looking for are cuticle aligned, which means that your hair is not going to tangle or shed as much, and most times you can ask them, is it from 1 donor or 2 donor? The 2 donor here, they might say that it can only bleach up to number 27, and that's because it has 2 different types of hair in it. And then the 1 donor hair is normally from 1 person, which is just more healthy and stronger. Then you also want to hear them say raw, unprocessed. Raw here means it was cut from the head and it was just washed. It has no steam processing or any type of processing whatsoever. Is it single or double drawn? Now, single here is a bit thinner, whereas double drawn here is thicker. It all depends on your preference. If your hair is processed, how is it processed? Again, you don't want to answer this for them. You want to hear what they are going to say. Some hair is steam processed, while some are chemically processed and has dyes. Now this is important because steam processed hair is fine. This is how they achieve all the curls and waves. Now this that I'm wearing is from my raw virgin hair collection. This is raw Indian wavy and I have had this over 6 years now, and this is what you call good quality hair. You want your hair to last. This hair has been in the beach, in the pool multiple times, and it's still going. So this is what you want. You want good hair, and this is why you ask all of these questions, to make sure that you're getting the good stuff. Now, if the hair is chemically processed or dyed, this can be an irritant to your customers. Some people have extremely sensitive skin, and the dyes that they may use will cause the person to have rashes on their skin, and that's not going to be good. So you always want to make sure that your hair has no dyes whatsoever. So this is really important, and you want to make sure that your supplier tells you no, there are no dyes, unless you're purchasing like red or purple hair or something like that. Does your hair have any fillers, short hairs, synthetic fibers, or animal hair? Now I know this may seem a little crazy to ask, but it's a valid question, because there are suppliers who don't get good quality hair, and in order to sell hair, or in order to upkeep with the volume of hair, they would add fillers in it. Now the fillers just cause the hair to look a little bit thicker rather than thin, and then the short hairs in between actually make it really hard to flat iron. You realize that when you're flat ironing it, it starts to sort of raise up, like when your hair raises on your skin. That's what the short hairs in between look like. Now the synthetic fibers or the animal hair causes the hair to melt when you're bleaching, dyeing, or flat ironing the hair. So again, this is really important to ask from your suppliers. So we're at number 5 now. How do you maintain the quality of your hair in such high demand? Now this is very important. Do not neglect this question. The reason why you want to ask this is because if your supplier is getting 1,000, 10,000 orders, you want to make sure that when you purchase your hair, you will be getting the same consistent good quality. So you want to make sure that your supplier can manage this high demand, so that whenever your customers get your hair, they always get the good stuff. So number 6, do you accept PayPal or trade assurance payments? Now this is also important. When I was scammed, against my better judgment, I used Western Union. Now I sent over 2,000 US to someone in Western Union. Dumb? Don't be dumb. Please accept PayPal. Yes, there may be a percentage to pay at PayPal. Some of your suppliers integrated, so you don't really feel as if you're paying for PayPal. Now, this is also an easy way for you to track your payments, because if there are any issues, PayPal will reimburse you your money, because it's easy to track, and they prefer that their customer is comfortable and not scammed. So, trade assurance payments. You want to make sure that for your trade assurance payments. Now what a trade assurance payment is, this is typically available via the Alibaba website, which is where most of your suppliers will be found. Now a trade assurance payment is a way that Alibaba accepts your payments, so that it's easy for you to track and it's safer for you to pay. Do you accept sample orders or give free samples? Now, you want to have a supplier that is going to be open to giving sample orders, because you don't want to just search someone and purchase it and sell it and not know what the quality is. So it's really important to be able to sample your hair. Now, when sampling your hair, I would say choose between 14 and 16 inches, at least 2 bundles. It's not too short and it's not too long. So what you can do, you could purchase the hair, put it in a U-part, do a sew-in, clean with minimal leave out, and that way you can rock it. You can flat iron, bleach, dye, curl, do whatever you feel like. Sometimes I put my hair through a rapid testing phase where I do all of these things in like 2 to 3 weeks, because I want to see if a customer chooses to do all of this to their hair at one point in time, how is it going to take to the process. Also, it's a way for me to gauge, like, okay, if this is the time span of how things process, what my customer will be able to do, how is the hair going to react, and then within that 1 month. Because I mean, you don't want to take 5 years or a whole year to test hair, because you're trying to get product, you're trying to develop your business. So although you should be able to take your time, you still don't want to take too long to test hairs. A month is actually a good period of time to test hair. So that's something that you should take into consideration when you're testing. Some persons will give you free samples. They just ask you to pay the shipping cost for your sample. Some will give you a bundle, some will give you 30-gram samples, and so forth. What's your MOQ, sorry, and this stands for minimum order quantity. It can also stand for maximum order quantity. However, in this regard, most persons accept the MOQ as a minimum order quantity for wholesale prices. Now, it can't be wholesale if you're buying one. Some will say, oh, I'll still give you the wholesale price for you to test, da 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 da. But a wholesale price is basically the price you pay before you can add a markup to it. So if 5 bundles is going to be $30 per bundle, then, or 5, let's say 1 to 50 bundles or 1 to 20 bundles, maybe $30 per bundle. And then they may say 30 to 50 is $28 a bundle, and then they might say 50 to 100 is $25 a bundle. That's what you're looking for in terms of the MOQ for wholesale prices. You want to know what's the least amount of bundles you can pay to get a certain price, and as you order more bundles, how much is it going to be. You also want to make sure that you ask them, how many grams are my bundles? Because some people will sell you 65, 75 grams if you're not certain, and if they realize that you don't know what you're asking for, they will rob you. Most of them, right? So you always want to make sure that their grams are at least 98 to 100. Preferably, I like 100 to 105. That's what most of my suppliers give to me, and that's what I accept. And I always tell them I want nothing under 100 grams. So you also have to make sure that you let them know where you stand. You are the customer. They need your money. So you want to make sure that you get what you need for your business. So number 7. Number 8. So basically what private labeling means is that they can take off their tags from the product and put your information on it. So rather than Guangzhou AliExpress hair, it would be the Boujet Beauty virgin hair or Sulan Alexander virgin hair. So that's basically what private labeling, they put all of your packaging, your branding on the product instead of theirs. Will you be able to manufacture my bags, hang tags, bundle wraps, and packaging? Now, it is awesome when you get all in one. I love when I could get all of my things in one. So that means my packaging for my bags, which is typically satin or silk bags, I can get my prints on them. I can get my hang tags, which is the card that says Peruvian, Malaysian, the grade of the hair, how much grams of the hair, the name of the hair collection, and so forth. And also your bundle wraps, which is the paper that comes around the circle part of the bundles, and as well as any other packaging, whether it be boxes or so forth. Number 9, what is the turnaround time after ordering to process and ship my order? Now this again is important. If you tell your customers that your processing time is 15 days, let's say you are doing pre-orders, right? You're going to say, well, my processing time is. When you ask them the processing time to ship your order, you want to make sure that they are not going to be taking too long to put your order together. This is also another telltale sign if you are dealing with a manufacturer or a distributor, because sometimes a factory can ship out your items quicker, or a distributor may have to wait until they get product. So if you say I need 10 bundles of hair, they are now going to put in an order with the factory and say I need 10 bundles of hair. So this is one of the reasons why you need to ask your vendors certain questions before you go through with purchasing from them. How long does it take to ship my order? Sometimes they would say a day, same day, they'll say the next day, 3 days. This is important because you need to know how long your product is going to take to reach how long your product is going to take to arrive to your destination. Again, you want to make sure that if you're stocking here, you are able to get here quickly if you need here. Number 9, sorry, we are at number 10. So number 10 is very important. All of them are important, but number 10, can you share some of your clients' photos? Now, this question has to do with integrity. And when I say some of your clients' photos, you're looking to see if they're gonna name drop. A lot of times they will say, well, I'm dealing with Kendra's Boutique, and they'll send you screenshots of these. You wanna see if they are going to send you photos or information about their customers' purchases. Now, sending client reviews and videos and so forth is fine. It's totally fine because they need you to trust them. However, when they start to name drop, because I literally had a customer say, oh, well, I'm the supplier for Kendra's Boutique, and then they sent me a PayPal screenshot of a purchase with something LLC. And as good as that here may be, I don't want to do business with a supplier like that, because guess what? If they did it to them, they can do it to you, and you don't want your direct competitor knowing who your supplier is. So this brings me to the end of my 10 questions to ask before you buy. Now, if you have any other questions, please let me know. And this is just the first in our vendor series. Coming up, we're going to have some other things that you need to ask your suppliers and things that are going to help you build a better beauty business, or rather a boss beauty business. This is your girl Sulan. See you in the next video. Bye.